From Robins Stadium on the campus of the University of Richmond, good afternoon. Welcome to Richmond Spiders Lacrosse. Today, the Spiders tangling with Cornell's Big Red. The Spiders ranked anywhere from 10th to 14th, depending on which poll you choose to believe. Meanwhile, Cornell, a consensus number 3, and John Emmett, along with Hall of Famer Don Starsia, the Spiders certainly can never be accused of ducking people in non-conference play.
They play an iron out-of-conference schedule, and this is another one. This is a key out-of-conference game for both teams if they want any consideration for the NCAA tournament outside of winning their conference. And on a crisp early season day, we should have a good one out here today. Although for the young men from upstate New York, from Ithaca, this is probably, this feels like midsummer perhaps, you know. So.
Yeah, maybe t-shirt and shorts weather for the Big Red. It is 37 degrees, but bright sunshine at Robins Stadium. Spiders at 3-1 have won 3 in a row. Cornell is 3-0, and they've put up dominant numbers in wins over Lehigh, Denver, and most recently Hobart. Spiders beat Lehigh 9-8, but had to rally to do it. And struggled at the face-off dot, so an early challenge for Anthony DeCenzo, taking the opening draw for the Spiders against Cornell's Jack Cascadin, who's won over 55% of his draws. Zach Vigu in the Spider net. The Spiders are in white. Wyatt Noost is in the goal for the Big Red, down to our left.
And right off the bat, we're going to be keeping a watch on the face-off X throughout the day. You know, the statistic that jumps off the page at you is Richmond, you know, facing off at 38%. I would say though that one is that it hasn't felt like that in some of their big games. I was at the Virginia game where it was more 50-50, and I know that Coach Shimati felt like it went okay at the Maryland game. And then the second piece of that is that they just haven't had their key face-off guy, Jared Chenoy, hasn't taken a single face-off this year. They're hoping to get him back at some point.
You know, Spiders with the first possession off that stalled ground ball win. Now Sheridan dodging. Lucas Olson out there for the Spiders in the midfield, was banged up during the week. Now it's Aiden O'Neill down at X. Trying to get topside in traffic. Played by the short stick of Michael Bozzi. Lucas Littlejohn's off to a great start this season. Olson gives Richmond the early lead.
Olson, who there was some concerns when he was a little nicked up coming into the game, gets off to a good start, and that's probably going to make him feel a lot better.
It went from questionable on the injury report to burying the game's opening shot.
Yeah. And a little change on the attack, personnel-wise for Richmond, with Merklinger starting there. So with O'Neill and Littlejohn, we'll see how that plays out.
7th goal of the year for Lucas Olson. Cascadin again against DeCenzo. Again, it's a 3v3 ground ball, but we get loose ball hold, possession Cornell. Cascadin with the restart, and he can score. He has 3 goals this year.
I think they'd like to keep him on the field if they could. He's a big fella.
C.J. Kirst, consensus All-American. Strong Tuwaraton candidate coming off a 12-point game against Hobart. Willem Firth as the Big Red finishes the sub game with Kelleher. But Sheehan unable to handle that pass, chased down by Goldstein.
I mean, Richmond was a little bit lucky there that Cornell wasn't able to take advantage of that. You want to be mindful when you're making those substitutions like that. You're not subbing behind the play. Cornell ordinarily very good at handling the ball in the unsettled game.
Deflection by Michael Farrell, and it leads to a Spider possession. Not going to go the other way.
Yeah.
Ryan Sheehan to restart for Cornell. 12:58 to play the first quarter. Spiders a 1-0 lead.
Cornell has a very good balance on offense. They'll play 2 midfield lines. They don't drop off much from the first to the second. Excellent balance on the attack. If you're putting a group together, you got the sniper on the right wing there in Long, and Goldstein behind the goal. Very good feeder, great eyes. And then Kirst
And there's Kurst to tie the game at 1.
He is a very special player. They're going to have to pay close attention to him.
On cue, C.J. Kurst with his 19th goal of the year in his 4th game to tie the game.
You know, he's just not someone that you can treat as a regular player. You just can't slide off of him the way you might in almost anybody else. They have a way of finding him. He catches balls in traffic, and he's going to finish those opportunities. I mean, right now, you know, he's shooting at you know, almost 70%, which is, you know, Villanova, Georgetown basketball numbers. So.
Jared Chenoy just took his first draw of the season for the Spiders, but Kaskadin with the face-off win, and C.J. Kurst to work on offense for the Big Red, tied at 1. Hunter Smith, Spiders' best defender, way out to shadow him.
And I think Kurst's special skill is making all the players around him better. He moves so smartly without the ball.
An opportunity up top, and Vigu
That's a
comes
great
up
save.
with a stop on Brian Luzzi. Spiders to work on the clear. Farrell got it across, now looking for help. Maybe looking for an opportunity. Spiders haven't had a pole goal yet this year. Braden Penafeather Stevenson's opportunity denied. And then O'Neal unable to handle that pass, and Richmond turns the ball over. So tied at 1. Brian Leslie getting more run in the midfield. Now Goldstein.
Goldstein's dad, Tim Goldstein, class of '88 of Cornell. I spent a lot of time in the Ivy League, played and coached at Brown, and saw a lot of Tim Goldstein, and Ryan has a lot of those same qualities. Really good feeder, really good eyes and hands.
Sheehan sharp angle shot off the side of the net, and Sheehan battling with Connor Kelly for the ground ball. Kelly's goose. Smith able to flip it ahead, but it's scooped up by Kelleher. Possession stays Cornell, and then Chris Mazzaferri lowers the boom, but Kelleher recovers. Goldstein again. Here's Long. Now Willem Firth. And Firth with a backdoor opportunity for Kurst that missed wide. Yeah, the Spiders, Mitchell Dunham comes up with the ground ball. And he's hounded into a turnover.
A little sloppy here in the early going for both teams, frankly. An example right there, but at the same time, both teams really getting after it.
Dunham coming up with a turnover. Now Ethan Gillenhall on the clear for the Spiders. Oh, and Pilling just missed one off the pipe. The D-middies trying to hook up there.
And people will talk about Richmond needing or wanting to control the pace of play a little bit, maybe trying to slow the game down some, but I think they want to take advantage of those kind of opportunities when they present themselves. It's too hard to score in the settled game in lacrosse. So you get unsettled opportunities, you got numbers advantages, you got to take advantage of that, and I think we saw a little bit of that just there for Richmond.
Here's Evan O'Neal for the Spiders trying to invert. Still tied at 1. Discouraged by Brendan Staub. Here's Gavin Creel. Now Alpaugh. Alpaugh well defended by Charlie Box, who's the hard hat for the Cornell program. Aiden O'Neal. Sharp angle and a save by Noost. And he comes up with a ground ball.
A quality shot out of that. Richmond needs Aiden O'Neal to be a factor. I would have thought earlier in the season I might have told you that they couldn't win without Aiden O'Neal playing really well. But then, the Virginia game, for instance, a lot of other guys stepped up, and we've seen more from Littlejohn and Olsen and some other players, which is great for Richmond overall.
Pilling came up with that turnover. Now O'Neal again. Finds O'Neal. Now Merklinger. Evan O'Neill. Hayden's younger brother getting early run in the midfield.
Yeah, Coach Shimani definitely changing up the units a little bit with the younger O'Neill and Creo and Alpar out that last shift.
Here's Lucas Olson, the Spider goal scorer. Now Daniel Pickart. And a piece of that for Noose, sends the ball out of play, but the Spiders get a fresh 60. O'Neill with the backup. Tied at 1, 8:08 to play the first quarter. O'Neill trying to use that Little John pick. Trying to find his brother up top. Pickard there to clean up. Now Merklinger. Merklinger posted his man up and buries it. 2-1 Spiders.
Very encouraging for Richmond. You know, going to other guys and getting more people involved offensively, showing a little bit more balance. Merklinger taking the pole up top like that, you just have to be impressed.
And the Spiders a 2-1 lead. More lacrosse from Richmond next on ESPN+.
My experience working with the Cabell Childers Group was like no other.
Working with the Cabell Childers Group was really refreshing.
What Cabell brings to the table is really personalized concierge service. He really deals with each client individually.
For me, it's a no-brainer, right? If we go to sell our house and we're looking to move somewhere within the area, that 100% that we come back to this group.
I would recommend Cabell and his group without question. He is true red and blue, ties to the community, and he's always there for the Spiders.
John Emmett, Dom Starsia back at Robin Stadium. Richmond off to a 2-1 lead over the third-ranked Cornell Big Red. Early goals from Olson and Merklinger.
Encouraging start for Richmond. Both playing with some confidence in the offensive end, getting some other people involved, and having Jared Chenoy come out and take his first face-offs of this 2025 season. That could prove to be a big help over the course of this game.
Chenoy against Cascadon. And Chenoy with the clean win in traffic. Spider possession. For Aiden O'Neill, and it's 3-1.
Jared Chenoy pays dividends right off the bat.
So an assist on his second draw of the campaign. And O'Neill with his first goal of the day. Spiders up 3-1. We were talking about transition lacrosse earlier, Dom, and an example right there off the face-off win.
Yeah, and like to say, you know, a good lacrosse team has to take advantage of those situations, and so that's what you're seeing from Richmond. And already, Cornell's gone to their second face-off guy. I don't think it's we have enough of a sample to say that there's a trend here, one way or the other. But Chenoy has already helped them out.
Oh, violation there against Richmond. Michael Melkonian just took that draw for Cornell. I think this is his first draw of the season. Hugh Kelleher with the ball. Now Willem Firth.
This is Cornell's first midfield.
Goldstein swings it around. Sheehan starts to dodge.
And we'll talk about our keys to the game as we go on here a little bit, but one of the keys I think is going to be not having to slide to all those middies, to the Cornell middies. You just don't want to loosen up and give that Cornell attack, Goldstein, Long, Kirst room and time.
She gets quick stick opportunity. Went awry.
Yeah, for Richmond's, that first one right there, you want to limit the slides a little bit, manage your individual matchups if possible, play a clean game, pick it up, clear the ball efficiently, do those things. And then I think they're going to get opportunities at the offensive end, and they have to finish their shots.
A long shot denied by Vigu. Spiders come up with a ground ball win through Charlie Packard. Now O'Neal. Sharp angle shot. A great effort by Walker Wallace on the run out, but the possession stays Richmond.
You like that Walker Wallace, huh? He's a local young man, I think.
Out of St. Christopher's.
There you go.
Not far from Robbins Stadium. Sheridan makes it 4-1.
Sheridan is probably Richmond's best threat to go to the goal, to dodge and make something happen for himself, and he takes advantage of that.
That is his 6th goal of the year. Speed right there.
You know, the good lacrosse teams are dangerous behind the goal. Cornell's got that attack back there. You know, Aiden O'Neal gives that element for Richmond, but you don't want that to be the only one. And Merklinger and Littlejohn may not be so much of a factor dodging, and so they invert and put their short stick there.
Melconian, clean face-off win, but he's turned away by Vigu.
And if you're looking for an advantage for Richmond, it may be right there. Zach Vigu has played a lot of good lacrosse. If he gets hot, they could really be tough.
Connor Kelly finding Sheridan. Spiders get it done on the clear. Keys to the game brought to you by Ortho Virginia, the official ortho provider of the Richmond Spiders. Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here. And the Spiders off to a strong start. Sheridan. Nice recovery from TJ Lamb, denied a scoring chance. Now Merklinger. Looking for the rollback. Lucas Olson. Played by Luke Gilmartin.
And related to what we were just talking about, Merklinger has played as probably more midfield than he has attack so far this year, and so quite comfortable above the goal line extended. Dodge for that goal against a pole. And so they may have to, like I say, create some other opportunities from behind the goal by inverting, taking some middies back there with short sticks. O'Neal trying to create some space for himself back there.
O'Neal shot backed up by Sheridan. Spiders off to a 4-1 lead. Sheridan again trying to get topside. Well defended by Walker Wallace.
Clock about to expire.
So the Spiders take a shot clock violation, and a hard-won stop right there for Cornell. Wyatt Noost finding Gilmartin, but his pass winds up almost in the seats, and it's a turnover for Richmond. O'Neal, the bouncer. And Noost might have had some help from the pipe right there.
I think it did take a piece of the pipe.
And Merklinger with the backup. Spiders trying to take advantage of a turnover and continue a really solid start. Jack Pilling getting a little offensive run right here. Here's Crayo. Now O'Neal. Manhandled by Jason Singer. Then we get a whistle as Lamb came up with a ground ball.
It looked a lot like a push with possession there. It seemed like a fairly straightforward call.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you come up with.
How do you come up with a loose ball violation there and just simply give the ball back to Richmond? I think the ball was in their possession the entire time.
A unique interpretation, but the Spiders still have the rock. And here's Evan O'Neill. Noose got a leg on that one. O'Neill chasing the ground ball. Merklinger comes up with it for the Spiders. Creo. Now Alpaugh. Alpaugh's shot didn't get through traffic, but he's able to hustle and back it up. O'Neill for the Richmond restart. 4-1 Spiders now late first quarter.
Richmond is on it right now, I'll tell you that. On the ground balls. All the little things that make a difference in these games.
Evan O'Neill down to Aiden. Little John in traffic, but unable to.
Yeah, his hands got tied up.
Does come up with the ground ball. And now Alpaugh, the step down, 5-1.
Again, it just speaks to Richmond's alertness, ground balls. Little John catches the ball inside that he can't quite handle. The ball gets knocked to the ground. They're on top of it again. Alpaugh gets to play to his strength, which is to step in at 12 yards.
Good job by Little John to keep that possession alive. Cornell's used to games starting 5-1, but they are not used to not having the 5. Chinoy again against Melkonian. And the team ground ball scooped up by Stull for Richmond. Now down to O'Neill, and the Spiders will begin the sub process. 2:24 to go in the first quarter, and a dream start for the home team on a crisp day at Robins Stadium. Sheridan already 1 goal for the Spiders. Now Merklinger. Some space for Daniel Picard, and it's 6-1.
It's a little early for Cornell to be panicking, but if I'm Coach Busick, I think what I'm telling the boys is, fellas, get the bus right out of your system and let's get to work here. Richmond has been all over this thing so far.
Now Cornell in 3 games thus far with wins of 18-10, 15-5, and 22-9. They're not used to trailing, period. They're certainly not used to being down 6-1.
And, credit goes to Richmond first and foremost. They are just have been as alert as they can be on the, like I said, on the ground balls, clearing the ball. And one of my keys for them, finish shots. They have done that. They have not allowed Nuss to be a factor in the goal for Cornell. And I think, like I said earlier, that they were going to get their opportunities and they needed to finish those opportunities. And so far, they've shot the ball very well. They've mixed it up a little bit, good locations, and not a lot to complain about right now. Now the issue for Richmond a little bit. I used to always in these early games when you have a big lead. I can still hear myself talking about fool's gold in the huddles. There's a lot of lacrosse left to play here, and so. The most important thing here is that you can sustain what you've been doing so far.
Yeah, it's a Cornell bunch that averages over 18 goals a game really early in the season, but 3rd in the nation in that category. They are certainly explosive, but thus far we haven't seen a lot of possession. Richmond's been able to more than hold their own at the X. CJ Kirsch can dominate a game, but he has to have the ball to do it. At least has to be on offense to do it.
You like to say, put your coaching hat on for a minute. You're talking to the team about understanding that Cornell is going to get back into this a little bit, and not to let that turn you away, and just keep battling and doing the things that you're doing.
Cascaded and DeCenzo for the faceoff. That one's pried out by Charlie Box. Now Cornell to work on the clear. Jason Singer. Back through Newst.
Yeah, I think it's obviously been a plus for Richmond to have Chinoy out taking some faceoffs, but in his first game back, it'd be hard to be asking him to take every one.
Newst with a speculative pass that Ryan Waldman knocked down. Spiders come up with a ground ball win through Pilling, but his pass recovered by Box. And now Cornell will go to work on offense.
Dangerous situation here for Cornell.
Michael Long. Now Willem Firth. Here comes Hugh Kelleher downhill. Honorable mention preseason All-American.
And you're seeing right off the bat here, Kirst is very good. What's unusual for a player of his ability is how good he is away from the ball. You see him in the crease right now. So a lot of teams slide from the adjacent guy inside, the nearest guy to the dodger. They'll put Kirst in that situation. And now you're really forced to make a decision about whether or not you're going to slide off of Kirst and give him some space inside. In the last game that they played against Hobart, he took advantage of that and just had a bunch of layups. So they're willing to move him around and put him in different spots, which makes him especially dangerous and creates a dilemma for the other team.
Tommy Stoll with a caused turnover and ground ball win, and the Spiders up 6-1, 20 seconds remaining of the opening quarter. Lucas Olson. Now Daniel Pickard, the freshman who scored Richmond's last goal. Pickard gets the hands free. Spiders have the backup with 6 seconds remaining.
I'll tell you, John, just over this is only still the beginning of the season, but we have seen some young players really develop for Richmond.
Yeah, Pickard unable to get the shot off from the O'Neill pass before time expires, but a dream start for the 10th, 12th, or 14th ranked Spiders. Pick your poll, but everybody says Cornell's number 3. Right now, they are number 2 at Robins Stadium. Spiders 6, Cornell 1 after a quarter. Back with the second quarter next on ESPN+.
You could buy a single stock and go all in on one company, or own the sector and invest in keeping good company. Is it so radical to be so rational? Before investing, consider the fund's investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses. Go to sectorspiders.com for a prospectus containing this information. Read it carefully. Sector Spiders, the 11 sectors of the S&P 500.
Back at Robins Stadium, John Emmett, Tom Starrs' second quarter. Spiders off to a 6-1 lead.
Yeah, and oftentimes your best defense is standout goalie play, and Richmond, I think, comes into a game like this knowing that's a known for them, is that Vigu is going to play well and give them a chance at that end of the field, and certainly he has to date.
Anthony Bartolotto with the ground ball pickup off the faceoff win by Cascadon.
What we might see now is, if this kind of stays this way, is I talked about Kirst being so good without the ball. You might see him going to get the ball a little bit more if they're a little bit frustrated about.
Goldstein lights the lamp, and Cornell badly needed momentum.
Yeah, a little ball watching there in the middle of the defense. Heads on a swivel. You got to be able to watch the ball and pay attention to your man at the same time, and that Goldstein's a smart player.
His 6th goal of the season, sophomore out of Radnor, Pennsylvania. Now it is 6-2.
You see him as a passer and as a feeder, but the good ones can do both things, and he's one of those. He's going to be able to finish those kind of opportunities right there.
Cascadon and DeCenzo. Cascade in the front door win. And he has a go and just scored his 4th of the year to make it 6-3.
I think DeCenzo might have lost a shoe getting back in there on defense.
Cascadden Jr. out of Garden City, New York. Won a couple out the front door against Denver last weekend. And all of a sudden, the momentum has shifted here.
Yeah, and there's going to be some ebb and flow in all of these games, and you got to be able to endure that and then get it back in your favor. That's what experience and confidence can give you.
Kirst comes up with that ground ball win off a spirited face-off between DeCenzo and Melkonian. And Cornell a chance to keep the run going. Ryan Waldman. Big Red finishing the sub game. Kelleher. Now Long. Goldstein for Kirst. Smith denied him topside initially. Long again. Goldstein is trying to find Andrew Dalton, and that winds up a turnover.
Good recovery on defense there.
Spiders make it snappy on the clear. Here's Chris Mazzaferri. Now Merklinger. Out to Sheridan. Sheridan the redodge. Denied by Walker Schwartz. Loose ball scooped up by Merklinger. Now Olsen for Daniel Pickard. Merklinger trying to use that Olsen pick. Now Olsen. That's gobbled up by Noost.
Good save.
Cornell trying to get back in it. They were down 6-1. Now it's 6-3. Brendan Staub going to grip it and rip it with Vigu strolling out of the cage.
I would suggest that is not a shot. That's a soft spot in the lacrosse rules of the game. Throwing the ball a length of the field, 15 yards over the top of the goal is not an attempt to score.
Here's C.J. Kirst, more familiar with attempts to score.
Yes, he is.
Smith doing a good job. Here's Long. Kirst handles a tough pass. Now Kelleher.
Smith's done a good job in an individual matchup with Kirst so far.
Willem down to Goldstein. Sheehan. Firth again. Charlie Packard, the short stick. Good handle by Long. Kelleher makes it 6-4.
Good shot, but I would suggest I might be willing to live with that one, with that shot. I thought they did a good job. Richmond did a nice job on defense in that rotation. And Kelleher hits a long outside shot.
It's a 3-goal run for the Big Red. Evidently, they did shake off that bus ride.
You knew that they would. It's a quality team with quality older players with experience. The 6-1 first quarter deficit, if nothing else gets their attention, clearly. Now we kind of settle into a back and forth game here.
Cascadden and Chinoy at the dot. And Chinoy able to goose it back to Dunham. And his pass scraped off the turf by T.J. Lamb. Here's Long. Now Goldstein. And Goldstein denied by Vigu. Dunham trying to get the clear started. Vigu able to fight off the cage. Now Alpaw.
Cornell doesn't seem inclined to be pushing up on the ride, so, you know, for Richmond should be clearing the ball efficiently. What that requires is just, you know, good stick handling and smart looks.
Aiden O'Neill for the Spiders. His brother looking for room. And he finds Littlejohn, who buries it to make it 7-4.
It's a nice little look in there. Young Mr. O'Neill getting a lot of playing time here and making the most of it.
Evan O'Neill breaks the 3-goal run by finding Littlejohn in traffic.
Short stick on the wing, draws the double team, opens up the inside for Littlejohn.
11th goal of the year for Littlejohn, who leads the Spiders in that category.
That stops the bleeding a little bit, gives you a chance to catch your breath.
DeCenzo against Cascadon. A spirited scrum. Walker Wallace trying to dig it out for the Big Red.
Lacrosse is a beautiful game, isn't it?
This is a chair fight. Tommy Stoll comes up with a ground ball win for the Spiders.
Good ground ball. Get it to a short stick, Tommy. Yep.
And Cornell able to create a turnover through Brian Luzzy. Michael Bozzi for the Big Red.
These are the situations where Cornell, I think, is particularly dangerous.
Pilling able to deny early offense. Now C.J. Kirst. For Andrew Dalton, Kirst again. Now it's Luzzy. Goldstein swings it around for Waldman. Now Andrew Dalton.
Nice fill from behind.
Well defended by Kelly and Smith, and it was Smith the ground ball win as he gallops the other way. This pass recovered by O'Neill, and it's settled offense now for the Spiders, up 7-4 in the second quarter.
You know, after a Cornell run, this is where you might catch your breath a little bit. Get Pilling off the field, get Smith back up the field. Now you go for maybe a little bit more deliberate pace on offense.
Spiders finishing up the sub game. Daniel Pickert running with Lucas Olson and Sheridan in the midfield. Great pass in front for Merklinger, but maybe some help from the post there as Noost had the angle, and Cornell comes up with a ground ball. Luke Gilmartin. Pickard hustling back.
Timeout, Cornell.
Yeah, forced the Cornell timeout.
Good opportunity. You're not going to score in every one of them. That was a quality offensive opportunity and a good shot.
All right, Spiders up 7-4. Second quarter from Robins Stadium. More lacrosse next on ESPN+.
Si compitiera el Toyota RAV4 y el Honda CR-V con el Subaru Forester, ¿quién ganaría? El 96% de los Forester vendidos en la última década siguen circulando, lo cual supera al RAV4 o al CR-V. El Forester 2025 también es un Top Safety Pick Plus del IIHS. Eso es mejor que el RAV4 y el CR-V. También mantiene su valor mejor que cualquier otro SUV de su clase, según J.D. Power.
Obtén tarifas especiales más bajas en un Subaru Forester nuevo durante el evento A Lot to Love de Subaru que ya comenzó.
Target made Good and Gather for you, helping you save on tasty berries frozen at peak ripeness, ready whenever you need them. Everyday favorites at unbeatable prices. We made Good and Gather for you, only at Target.
Alex Pereira, the most dangerous and destructive champion in the sport. Baca Ultimate of Goliath. This guy can do it all.
Middle of the second quarter, Richmond Spiders with a 7-4 lead over the number 3 team in the country, the Cornell Big Red. Spiders jumped all over Cornell, led 6-1 after one, and the Big Red showing why they are as highly regarded as they are, ripping off a 3-goal run. And they have possession as play restarts. C.J. Kirst, everybody's consensus All-American, and one of 3 Big Red on the preseason Tewaaraton list. Michael Long. Now Kirst.
He reminds everyone of Brennan O'Neill from Duke, who won the Tewaaraton a year ago. Big, strong lefty. O'Neill might be a little bit bigger than CJ, but CJ's ability away from the ball and his passing ability, I think, sets him apart. And here they are, shutting him off with a short stick here.
Kelleher did draw a slide. Now an opportunity on the doorstep is buried by Andrew Dalton.
And you know, the merit of shutting Kirst with a short stick prevents him perhaps from getting the possession, but it creates more space in the field by removing a defender and an offensive player from in front of the goal. Nice handle inside, nice feed and nice handle inside by Cornell.
5th goal of the year for Andrew Dalton, who's out of Toronto. And again, the Spider lead shaved to 2. Senso against Cascadden, who came up with a face-off win. Now Goldstein. Long holds as Big Red begins the sub game. Here's Ryan Waldman.
It's funny, you know, face-off percentage doesn't generally, it's not generally indicative of the result, the final result of a game, but it sure feels like it impacts a game. You know, I think it has as much to do with momentum, either scoring or stopping a score as anything else. Here you got Pilling covering Kirst behind the goal. Dunham makes the switch.
And Pilling shows why he's a preseason All-American. Here's Sheehan. Long. Now Goldstein.
He's got the short.
And Goldstein denied by Vignew. Spiders go to work on the clear. Michael Dunham. Now Vignew with some space. Midfield a bit clogged, but Joe Sheridan able to finish the job. 7-5 Spiders, 6 minutes remaining second quarter.
Clearing efficiently, you know, again, I think I mentioned it earlier, that one of the keys to this game, I think.
Lucas Olson for the Spiders. Olson fired, but first we had an offside whistle.
Timeout, perhaps.
No timeout. Well, one of the officials definitively signaled offside.
It may be that Richmond was trying to get the timeout to fight off the offsides, you know, so you run your whole team out on the field and act like you got the timeout call.
And the officials, Stephen Ruppel, James Lafredo, Dane Hansen. The call was offside. The possession, Big Red. Michael Long heading back to help out on the clearing task. His pass is a bit low for Lucy. Good job by Will Firth to come up with a loose ball.
And just as you know, you're kind of watching the game and feeling the game. You're feeling Cornell on the loose balls a little bit more than they were early in the game. All of those balls seem to wind up in Richmond's stick in the first 10 minutes, and that piece of the game has just turned a little bit.
Hugh Kelleher Dalton. Now Firth. Goldstein up from X. And Goldstein makes it 7-6.
And, and that to me is one of the key elements here, and defensively for Richmond, is that they half slide to a midfielder, and then Goldstein gets the ball with room and time and is able to attack, change the field and attack the far side of the cage. I would think I would be challenging Cornell's middies to finish those shots. Frankly, you want to show a little bit, fine, but don't lose track of your own man. And I was one who never liked to slide off of that attackman at X because he changes the field and it just changes the complexion of where you are defensively.
Clean face-off win for Kaskanen, but his pass eluded Kirst. Smith with the ground ball pickup. Then Kirst with the check. Smith recovers. He was able to fight through traffic and got the ball to Braden Penifetter Stevenson, and the Spiders finish a hair-raising clear.
Hunter Smith earned his pay on that clear.
Now Joe Sheridan as Richmond finishes the sub game. Cornell has cut what was once a 5-goal deficit down to 1. Here's Sheridan. Played by Jason Singer. Now Olsen. O'Neal. A great pass in front. Sheridan makes it 8-6.
Nice look, nice cut inside. I was just about to say that both of these runs, the run by Richmond in the first quarter and Cornell here in the second quarter, have happened because of what those teams have done. It's not that the other team has kind of let up or stopped playing. In the first quarter, Richmond was all over the loose balls and shooting, and in this quarter it's been more Cornell, a loose ball play, just the alertness part of the game.
And Sheridan with his second goal of the game, 7th of the year. 8-6 Richmond, 3:59 remaining in the first half. Kaskanen against Chinoy, and again it's a win out the front door, but Kaskanen couldn't squeeze it. And we get a whistle off of that ground ball goose. And a loose ball push Richmond. Spiders surrendering possession here. Michael Long for the restart. Spiders out shooting Cornell to this point, 21-15. 6 saves for Vigu, 5 for Noost. Ryan Waldman trying to set up a dodge. Sheehan, now Kirst. Here's Brian Luzzi. Didn't play against Denver last week, getting a lot of run today. We stepped on the crease. Fires, and Vigu comes up with a save. Now Tommy Stoll to work on the clear. Jack Pilling. And Stoll finds O'Neal. O'Neal from distance. But
Timeout call, Richmond. That's the one you're glad to have back.
That's one of those, had Noost not been there, that would have been a tough one to stomach, but it does save the possession. 3:04 remaining of the first half, and the Spiders out in front, 8-6. And a really nice crowd here today. Despite the non-spring-like conditions, 39
well, compared to what we've
right
had, we've had a real winter, and so today is, you would take this day maybe for a couple of more weeks, until we're certain that that winter's behind us.
Folks out here to see yet another elite Richmond home matchup. The Spiders not only not ducking people, but they've been able to convince folks to travel.
And people, people in this area in Central Virginia, I think they do appreciate what good lacrosse they have, an opportunity to watch, between what goes on over in Charlottesville and what's happening here in Richmond. You're seeing the best of the best, at these locations, both on the men's and women's side. And so if you're a fan, almost week in and week out, you can watch a great game somewhere. We played the first Division I game against Richmond here. a game that as the head coach at the University of Virginia, we came and won by a goal, but the place was packed. It was a nice day, except for the score of the game, which was hair-raising on our sideline. It was a great day for lacrosse.
Still think that Lucy stepped on the crease twice there on that last shot. But Vigu able to stand his ground. And out of the timeout with 3:04 remaining in the half. Spiders trying to fatten a 2-goal advantage. Hayden O'Neill with the restart. Trying to work off a pick from his freshman brother. O'Neill the rollback. Noose the save. O'Neill the rebound. Now Evan O'Neill. He's discouraged by Matt Dooley.
Yeah, young O'Neill, was a complete surprise to me, is that how effective he has been.
Here's Merklinger. The younger O'Neill did not play in the win over Lehigh last weekend.
I'm sure he has earned his way because he is getting significant time.
Here's Alpaugh. Now Merklinger. O'Neill. From a tough angle, and Noosed another save. The ground ball battle won by Littlejohn.
Another timeout.
And Richmond uses their last timeout of the first half. 2:06 remaining.
Good possession. Richmond is getting their opportunities when they've, just taken their time and worked on offense. They've been a little bit patient. They've been able to generate good opportunities. They haven't finished every shot. You're probably not going to do that, but they have demonstrated that they can create offense when they need it.
We talked a lot about Vigu early. Wyatt Noosed coming in with a 64% save percentage. Preseason honorable mention All-American. Last year, I guess a little up and down. At one point, he lost his job, then won it back. But he's put up numbers this season.
I think the sense of it for him is a little bit streaky. And I would say that we don't yet have enough of a sample size. With Vigu, I've seen him now for a couple of years, and I know what he's capable of, and what he's been, how he's been playing this year in the early season. You would you would have thought coming in that this was going to be a strength for Virginia today was Zach's playing the goal, and again in this sport with being able to generate the opportunities that you are, you don't win without good goalie play. And
Spiders have been fortunate. Dan Chamati probably deserves a lot of credit, but they've had some backbones in goal. Vigu's been the undisputed #1 since late in the 22 season, and you had a couple of goalies before that who ate up chunks of 3 seasons here, 4 seasons there. Like they've had the guy consistently throughout the 12-year history of the program.
Well, like I say, you're talking about a team that has been consistently successful since they started the program, and again. In this sport, we could put down the keys to every game. We could start out with just saying face-offs and goalie play, and those 2 elements in a game are just going to have a lot to say with how this plays out. And Richmond's been blessed to have some good ones in the goal.
Sheridan going to work on the dodge. Littlejohn, and Noosed was there again. Maybe a little help from the pipe. And the backup one by Merklinger.
Restart on the clock. They can take their time to get something good here.
And officially was save number 8 for Wyatt Noosed. With 1:20 remaining in the half, Spiders can hold for a pretty good chunk. Trying to add to an 8-6 lead. Joe Sheridan. Lucas Olson.
I can hear myself on the sideline saying, hey, fellas, we're not looking for the first opportunity. We're looking for the first good opportunity. So we don't just want to hold the ball. We just don't want to kill the tempo because we're not going to be able to milk the whole clock here into the half. So let's just work for something good.
About 15 on the shot clock as Olson begins to dodge. Now Merklinger. Sheridan. And again, Noosed has the angle. In the final 30 seconds of the first half, Luke Gilmartin trying to get it done on the clear. Able to weave through some traffic and find Long. Now 22 seconds remaining in the first half. And Cornell with an opportunity to Make it a one-goal game at the turn. Long. Goldstein.
Oh, nice
cursed
look.
right on the doorstep. And it's 8-7.
You know, as Long was carrying that ball behind the goal left-handed, I was talking to myself saying, don't slide to him. Don't slide to him. You know, and then they loosen up a little bit out front, and two very good players find each other and create that scoring opportunity.
And Kirst on the doorstep, wasn't going to miss that.
Yeah, I just don't think that Long is running by Dunham left-handed.
C.J. Kirst with his 20th goal of the year. Just under 6 seconds remaining in the half. It's a one-goal game. Kaskaden and Chenoy. And Chenoy with the face-off win. And he'll play a little chuck and duck here as the first half comes to an end. Well, Cornell digging themselves out of a 6-1 hole after one quarter. Second quarter, we saw why they're the number 3 team in the country.
Yeah, you knew that they would, and now you got an 8-7 game, and now you got 30 minutes of lacrosse to determine who's going to win this thing. You know, they're back in it, and we kind of almost start from scratch. I think we're going to have a great second half.
All right, Richmond 8, Cornell 7 at halftime. Back with halftime activity next on ESPN+.
Mommy, why is that woman in our yard?
Can I help you?
Your children are ripe enough to eat.
Rated PG-13.
Target made Good and Gather for you, helping you save on tasty berries frozen at peak ripeness, ready whenever you need them. Everyday favorites at unbeatable prices. We made Good and Gather for you, only at Target.
With USPS Ground Advantage, it's like you're with us every step of the way.
Right on time.
Stay in the know from your dock to their door.
Donnie came in today, munching on a bag of this.
Seen him in Chicago, too. Up and down the L.
Dio mio.
They aren't pizza, but they are delicious.
This Cheetos pizza thing, it changes everything.
Hey, you guys try these? Pretty tasty.
Hey, Donnie, don't you got someplace to be?
Cheetos Cheese Pizza Puffs. Proud to be the second best pizza thing.
Sweet kid.
Let's talk salary.
Great. What do you typically offer for this role?
It's competitive.
So is it like competitive salary or is it like competitive salary?
It's somewhere between competitive and competitive.
Right. And then the number would be...
Competitive.
With Indeed, you can avoid awkward salary conversations from the start.
Oh, a number.
What do you mean a number?
It's an actual number.
Target made Up and Up for you, helping you save on storage solutions with bags in all shapes and sizes, so everything has a home. Everyday favorites at unbeatable prices. We made Up and Up for you, only at Target.
How are you feeling about the exam?
All good. If I don't sleep, I mean.
If it helps, I'm using Check. Total game changer.
Maybe I should try.
Yeah, he definitely needs Jug.
Noble Outwork and Outwork Edge. The Outwork. It's got this really clean aesthetic that has a really low stack height, which puts the shoe really close to the ground, gives you really great stability.
Lightweight, breathable, but also very durable and very supportive.
This is Noble Outwork Edge. You have a much higher stack height, so this is perfect for really heavy impacts. You get really great lockdown in this, which provides a lot of really amazing lateral and medial stability. Both one-piece super fabric uppers, both awesome training products.
Listen up, hockey fans. NHL on ESPN Plus is back. The hardest hits, the dangles, and of course, the sellies.
You've got to be kidding me! It's not real!
Enjoy every second of 1,000+ out-of-market games, exclusive matchups, marquee NHL events, and so much more. That's hockey on ESPN Plus.
We live for the NWSL on ESPN. Facts. For the trend spins and the self shrugs. For fandom so fierce you can feel it. And we are here for it. The NWSL on ESPN. Facts.
Realize you're more of a creative type than a finance type. Realize you got this. Use QuickBooks to get your cash flow flowing. Get live expert assistance to maximize your tax savings.
I can help with that.
Get back to doing what you love. Manage and grow your business all in one place. Intuit QuickBooks, your way to money.
All right, trainees, let's say Glenn is a customer.
I'm a customer in this scenario.
What do we do?
Protect what's important to him.
And how do we do this?
We help with car, home,
Both.
RV coverage.
Great, apply coverages. Because you never know what life is going to surprise you with at 90 miles per hour.
Did Coach say 90?
Push him out there. You've got this, Glenn.
Am I going to feel this? I felt that.
Is he okay?
For savings and service, get more with Geico.
Oh, he's moving.
Let's talk salary.
Great. What do you typically offer for this role?
It's competitive.
So is it like competitive salary or is it like competitive salary?
It's somewhere between competitive and competitive.
Right. And then the number would be...
Competitive.
With Indeed, you can avoid awkward salary conversations from the start.
Oh, a number.
What do you mean a number?
It's an actual number.
Robins Stadium on a crisp but clear afternoon. Richmond an 8-7 lead over Cornell at halftime. John Emmett with Dom Starsia. Official first half numbers. Spiders outshot Cornell 25-17. 17-14 on goal. 9 saves for Wyatt Noost. 7 for Zach Vigue. Dom, you mentioned clears. Richmond 11 of 11 in the first half. And Cornell only 6 out of 9.
You know, Richmond has played well overall. Obviously, I think the first half, for the most part, went probably according to the script that they would have written for it. What I am struck with is, one is that you feel like C.J. Kirst had a quiet first half, and yet he still got 2 goals, you know, and that's what happens with the good ones, you know. And the other piece of it is that I feel like Richmond played well on defense in the first half of the game. and they've only given up, they played at Maryland, at Lehigh, at Virginia. They've only given up 8 goals a game. They've given up 7, even though that we feel like they've played well here in the first half. So it speaks to Cornell's ability to generate offense and to finish opportunities. And Richmond's going to have to stay sharp, going into the second half here.
Of course, Cornell came into the game only allowing 8 goals per contest, and they allowed 8 in the opening 30 minutes. Cornell 8 turnovers, Spiders with 6, and Spiders with 5 caused turnovers. And we have not had an extra man opportunity yet. The officials simply have had to adjudicate timeouts, and well, there was that non-loose ball push. Maybe they didn't bring flags.
There were a couple of plays that in another game in a different situation would probably have wound up in the penalty box. But give the referees credit; they've been consistent throughout, and it's been a well-played game. I think both teams have played pretty clean, picked the ball up, not thrown the ball away a lot. There haven't been a lot of turnovers in the game, and I think we're in tune here for a great second half.
Vigu in the Spider goal, Richmond in the home white. Noost in the goal for Cornell, and Kaskaden wins the second half opening faceoff. First possession, Big Red. And here's C.J. Kirst. Hunter Smith has drawn that assignment all day. Willem Firth will get it started.
Like I say, through the first half here, Kirst has seemed willing to give the ball up and to play off the ball, which I think he's very good at.
Kelleher's shot gobbled up by Vigu.
You like to see a goalie get one early, frankly, get back in the flow of it.
Pilling finishes the clearing. Now Aiden O'Neill. That pass a little low for Charlie Packard, who had stayed on. Littlejohn came up with a ground ball, but tumbles under Matt Dooley's challenge, and that's dug out by the Big Red. Hugh Kelleher getting back on D. Kelleher draws a crowd, but
looked like there was some call over there on that loose ball.
Letting the lads play. And Cornell with a chance here to come all the way back after they trailed 6-1. Andrew Dalton. Played by Charlie Packard. Ryan Waldman. Dalton. Now Firth. And Firth ties the game.
Dodging what we call a dodge and a redodge. Dodges, draws the second defender out, slows himself down, and the second defender starts to recover back to his own, and he redodges again the same spot and gets a little space for himself.
9th goal of the year for Willem Firth out of Ottawa, Ontario.
He's probably their most consistent threat in the midfield. He might be one that you are thinking about going to, but at the same time, I would be a little bit hesitant to be sliding all over the place to Cornell's middies.
Jared Chenoy making his season debut today for the Spiders at the dot against Jack Kaskaden. That's scooped up by the local boy Walker Wallace, then knocked loose, and that eluded Jason Singer, and it's possession Richmond. Aiden O'Neill for the restart. And Cornell was down 6-1 into the first, and they have battled back to tie the game at 8 early in the third quarter. Joe Sheridan, one of 3 players today to score twice. Well, he lost the ball, but it wound up off Jason Singer. Spiders maybe catching a little break right there. Merklinger restarts off a Sheridan pick, and it winds up a violation as Brendan Staub ate it. Matt Dooley on the clear. Luke Gilmartin. Now Goldstein, and Cornell can grab their first lead of the day. Spiders scored the first goal, then Kirst tied the game. Then Richmond a 5-goal run. C.J. Kirst feeding Griffin McGovern, getting some run. Much deeper midfield look today for Cornell. Luke Robinson. These are basically the threes right now. Brian Luzzy unable to handle that pass, and it's scooped up by Braden Pinnefeather Stevenson for the Spiders. A Cornell turnover on an opportunity to grab a lead, and the Spiders will go to work on settled offense.
Good job on defense there for Richmond. You know, one of my keys for Cornell in the game would have been to get some other people involved, and you know, they keep trying, and you give Richmond, like I say, give Richmond credit for presenting a little help, but not having to go all the way.
Daniel Pickert denied by Noost.
A little early in the possession for that shot. You know, Richmond hasn't had a sustained possession yet. First time down, O'Neal throws it left-handed into a, I believe Little John was in the crease left-handed. You know, so that shot going down the alley. You know, I think you can kind of get those anytime you want.
Noost galloping around and didn't get offside right there. A Spider, they want a quick restart.
They should get a quick restart.
And Michael Long with some shenanigans. And the officials are going to have to work this out. What do we got here?
They're giving that ball back to Cornell.
Evidently they are. Noost had an anxious moment about 60 yards from his own goal, thinking his bunch was offside. Dan Chamati's actually on the field right now hoping for an explanation. It will be a big red ball. And Firth to restart. Again, Cornell can grab their first lead of the day here. Ryan Sheehan. Some more familiar names now on in the midfield. Firth. Played by Pilling. Now Goldstein. Firth up to Long. Sheehan. Goldstein. Good scoop by Kelleher. Now Kirst. Sheehan. Knocked loose by Charlie Packard. Sheehan won the ground ball battle, but Richmond's going to get a possession out of that. And Charlie Packard on the A-10 all-rookie team last year. That's 7 caused turnovers now for the Spiders.
Coach Chamati out there on the field. Might have to get him his gear.
He wanted a little faster restart there.
I think he did.
Here's Henry Alpaw.
All right, important now. Good possession. Work and get something good.
Evan O'Neal. The freshman O'Neal getting a ton of run today. Alpaw. Now Gavin Creo. O'Neal.
Alpaw, Creo, and O'Neal. It's not a midfield I expected to see much of today.
Here's Aiden O'Neal.
Good for them.
Now Evan O'Neal.
You know, Richmond doesn't have a C.J. Kirst. They might not have a first or second team All-American at the offensive end. The sum of their parts is the strength of this team.
O'Neal denied by Noost. A good pass there from Merklinger. And again, Cornell can grab their first lead of the day. Gilmartin with the bomb. That finds Long. Now Kirst a little room. Down to Goldstein. Here's Ryan Waldman. Spiders actually have for years had the real alpha attackman. Here comes Kirst. That's just wide. Dalton Young, Lanchbury, guys that are playing pro now.
Yeah, Dalton Young, I think for the people that weren't aware of it, they watched him this summer, saw what he was capable of. We've had a great opportunity to watch him over the last couple of years. He is very good.
Here's Long.
And I've often said I think Aiden O'Neill looks like a young Dalton Young, but Dalton did it for a couple of years, made those plays.
Luzzy. Now Waldman. Here's Dalton. Waldman. Now Goldstein. 9 seconds to shoot. Goldstein, and Vignew was right there. Spiders a hard-won stop. They've been perfect on the clear.
That was a very good possession on defense for Richmond.
Ethan Gillenhall finishing the clear. And the Spiders a chance to retake the lead middle of the third quarter against the number 3 team in the country.
They've had some opportunities. They've had some good looks at the cage. Nust has stepped up a little bit here in the third quarter. They're going to have to keep knocking on that door. When you're getting stymied a little bit by a goalie, you talk about, we need to create better shots. We need to get some of those shots inside rather than settling for those step downs from outside the hash marks.
Sheridan. Good handle by Olsen. Now Pickard. Yeah, Pickard gripping and ripping. Spiders have the backup. Still 30 to shoot. Merklinger trying to work off that pick from Sheridan, and he makes it 9-8. Spiders back in front with 6:22 remaining in the third quarter. Sheridan sacrificing himself on that pick, and Merklinger made it pay off.
Yeah, that pick on the goal line extended is really effective. All you need is a step above the goal line extended, and you have a shot. So it's a quick hitter on offense, and it really forces the defense. If they get picked, they were a real problem. We used to always jump that ball carrier right there because it was just didn't have room and time to be able to make a switch, or if you got picked off, you couldn't make the play. You couldn't recover.
Spiders have a 9-8 lead, and our producer, Blake Ellett, knew something the officials didn't. We're supposed to go to break. Spiders up a goal. More lacrosse next on ESPN+.
My experience working with the Cabell Children's Group was like no other.
Working with the Cabell Children's Group was really refreshing.
What Cabell brings to the table is really personalized concierge service. He really deals with each client individually.
For me, it's a no-brainer, right? If we go to sell our house and we're looking to move somewhere within the area, that 100% that we come back to this group.
I would recommend Cabell and his group without question. He is true red and blue, ties to the community, and he's always there for the Spiders.
Richmond Spiders with a 9-8 lead over the third-ranked Cornell Big Red. At the face-off dot, it's Chinoy and Cascadden. 13-6 face-off advantage for Cornell today. Cascadden wins that one out the front door. Lays it off for Long, and Kirst unable to squeeze that pass, and the Spiders come up with a ground ball. Connor Kelly with the scoop. And now Jack Pilling on the clear.
That was a dangerous situation right there. We're not seeing a lot of that, actually. You know, for both teams, Dick, they've been completing that pass and capitalizing on those opportunities. It's a little bit of a break for Richmond right there.
Alpaugh starts the dodge. Now Merklinger. He has 2 goals now today. 6 for the season. Gavin Creo. O'Neill. Now Alpaugh. Trying to roll it back. O'Neill for Creo. Down to Merklinger. Littlejohn sets the pick. Now Alpaugh.
Littlejohn's got the short behind.
O'Neill. Creo! And it's 10-8.
Great look inside. Nice finish by Creo. He's a young man that has been starting on the attack the last couple of games, and you know, gets bumped to a position in the midfield and comes out and makes plays. Good for him.
3rd goal of the year. Interestingly, a little bit of a ground ball magnitude. Nine ground balls in their first 3 games.
Creo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does a lot of little things well. You can see that. He moves smartly. You know, he's really flying around away from the ball. The ball just hadn't been going in the goal for him. And, you know, with your starting attack 3 or 4 games into the season, you know, you need a little bit more scoring production.
Kaskadden wins another face-off, but Vignew denies him the goal. So the Spiders up 10-8. They've been perfect in the clearing game. And they get that one done with O'Neill, the recipient of the Hunter Smith pass. Spiders going to organize their personnel here with 4:45 to go in the 3rd.
Now you're seeing both goalies playing well. Noose seems to have caught up to the play a little bit. If he's been a little streaky, he's on a little bit of a hot streak, and Zach's been good the whole time, and so you're going to have to work to get a good opportunity. You want a ball in the back of the net, you're going to have to work to get a good shot.
Hayden O'Neill starts a dodge.
Against the short here, I keep going with that one.
Sheridan. Well, Littlejohn had to scoop it, then he fires, and Noose comes up with his 12th save of the game. Gilmartin on the clear, draws a crowd. He finds Charlie Box, and the Big Red gets it done. Willem Firth. Now Sheehan. His shot, I think that dosed Connor Kelly. Ball takes a strange hop, and Goldstein comes away with it. Now play scattered. Kelleher, long, topside, but he missed. Sheehan had the backup. Spiders up 2, 3.5 to go in the 3rd quarter. CJ Kirst for the restart. Draws the short stick. The All-American Jack Pilling.
This one you got to go to.
That Kirst pass swiped by Charlie Packard. He gallops away on the clear. Richmond now 17 for 17 clearing.
John, this is just a really good lacrosse game. Seeing good plays by both teams.
2 really good teams.
High-level plays.
Spiders, I think, answering maybe some doubters a little bit today. Still Packard. Now Alpaugh. Evan O'Neill. Aiden O'Neill. Of the Centerville, Massachusetts O'Neills. Creo. Merklinger. Keller either caught on D or they're using him as a 2-way now. 27 in red. O'Neill. Creo. Now Aiden O'Neill.
10 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, got to go. Can't find room.
Nice look.
And now Evan O'Neill saved by Noost. Ground ball dug out by Brendan Staub, and Cornell gets a stop.
Good offensive possession, good shot, good save, good ground ball.
TJ Lamb almost had an adventure there, but he'll finish the clear. Brian Lucy. Now Andrew Dalton. Some different midfield rotations from Cornell today than what we saw on tape, including Luke Robinson, who we didn't see at tape at all at Denver last week. Now Goldstein from a sharp angle, maybe trying to feed Kirst there. Smith interceded. Is that just a run out or a loose ball? It is a run out.
Yeah, get back in and get settled, Hunter. They're going to give him a quick whistle.
News takes Kirst took a bump from Mazzaferri and the ball on the ground. Goldstein recovers, and then that's chopped out. Another caused turnover. Terrific play by Connor Kelly. Now Mazzaferri on the clear, and the Spiders another caused turnover.
Keep going, attack the field there.
Yeah, Gildenhall now. Spiders stay perfect in the clearing game. Up by 2, final minute, third quarter. They can hold for last shot of the period here. Joe Sheridan. Now Lucas Olson. Spiders up 10-8 after Cornell rallied from 6-1 down to tie and had multiple possessions in the third quarter to grab their first lead. Olson, that eluded Merklinger. Ground ball scrum won by Lucy. Then lost the ball. Spiders still with 4 seconds. And Pickard's pass in front. Unable to find Littlejohn as the third quarter comes to an end, but with 15 minutes to go, Spiders smelling upset. Richmond 10, Cornell 3, or Cornell 8. Fourth quarter next on ESPN Plus.
With USPS Ground Advantage, it's like you're with us every step of the way.
Right on time.
Stay in the know from your dock to their door.
Target made Good and Gather for you, helping you save on tasty berries frozen at peak ripeness, ready whenever you need them. Everyday favorites at unbeatable prices. We made Good and Gather for you, only at Target.
Not feeling the grays but don't want a color? Try Just for Men Control GX Gray Reducing Shampoo. Just shampoo like you do to gradually reduce grays. Now boosted with keratin. Hair looks 2 times thicker to keep you looking your best. Control GX Shampoo.
Donnie came in today, munching on a bag of this.
Seen him in Chicago, too. Up and down the L.
Damn, man.
They aren't pizza, but they are delicious.
This Cheetos pizza thing, it changes everything.
Hey, you guys try these? Pretty tasty.
Hey, Donnie, don't you got someplace to be?
Cheetos Cheese Pizza Puffs. Proud to be the second best pizza thing.
Sweet kid.
Now 15 minutes remaining at Rogers Stadium. John Emmett along with Dom Starsia. And the Richmond Spiders with a 10-8 lead over the third-ranked Cornell Big Red. Both goalies having a nice game, and both are over 50% in save percentage. Noost with 13 saves on 23 shots on goal. Big U 10 saves on 18 shots on goal.
I had an opportunity to watch 2 games, 2 one-goal games yesterday. One was a little sloppy, and one of the teams won a little bit by default. And the other game, Notre Dame, Maryland, was just a really well-played game. Both teams making plays right till the very end. That's what we're getting. That's what we've been treated to here so far. So it's going to be a really interesting here fourth quarter.
Cascadon and Chinoy. Cascadon's had a pretty good day. This one turns into a 3v3 ground ball. Walker Wallace took a couple of stabs at it. Whistle and possession Richmond. So the Spiders go to work on offense to start the fourth quarter.
And pressure on the coaches over there not to send Chenoy out every single time. You know, this is his first action of the 2025 season. You know, those face-off scrums, that is a physical, that's a tough piece of action right there. And, you know, hard to have him out there every single one of them, but you really want him. Gives you your best chance to win.
Sheridan shovels down to Merkley. You might notice the large knee brace that Jack Cascadin wears. He'd suffered a significant injury earlier in his career. Here's Lucas Olson. Scored the Spiders' first goal. He's playing banged up today. Merklinger, one of 4 players on 2 goals in this game. O'Neal. Now Sheridan. Spiders up 2, early fourth quarter. O'Neal again. Trying to work off a pick. Pickert with the roll, and his shot wide. Right through the Spider tunnel.
11 seconds on the clock. Getting Olsen off the field.
O'Neal restarts. Shot clock dwindling. O'Neal.
Good turn.
Yep. Unable to find the cage, and Spiders turn it over on a shot clock violation.
Good shot, though, with under 10 seconds to go in the clock.
News starts the clear. Michael Long, who's an attackman, back to help out and get that done. Kelleher fighting through Connor Kelly's stick. Cornell gets organized. They were down 6-1, battled back. Tied the game at 8. Spiders have scored the last 2. Firth.
This has been their best threat through the midfield. This Firth here, especially against the short.
Played by Pilling. Firth draws a little extra attention. Now Kelleher.
Good recovery back to their settled defense for Richmond there.
Dalton took a pretty good pop and maybe was held momentarily. Again, no flags in this game. Neither team has had an EMO opportunity. Long. Down to Goldstein. Out to Keller, and he takes a big shot from Hunter Smith, who comes up with a caused turnover ground ball. And the Spider faithful appreciative.
Look at the crowd going a little bit.
That's 9 caused turnovers today for the Spiders.
That was a really good, you know, what you're looking for is not so much even the slide to the Dodger to help out, but it's the support behind that. It's the recovery after that initial Dodger doesn't finish the shot. You know, those are the things that will determine whether or not you're playing great defense, and that's what Richmond is doing right now.
Alpaw's bouncer wide. Charlie Packard had stayed on for a little offensive run. Now he skedaddles. O'Neal restarts. Merklinger. Evan O'Neal able to recover that pass. Now Alpaw. Aiden O'Neal. Evan O'Neal.
Evan O'Neal.
2 5s instead of 1.
He got up on the right side of the bed this morning, huh?
Yeah, Creo. Alpaw. And that's denied.
Off the post, I believe.
Rebound all the way out to midfield. Good job.
New clock.
Yeah, Mitchell Dunham with the goose of that bouncing ball.
You have to keep playing. I don't care if you got the lead or not. You got to keep playing, but you also need to be smart about creating a good opportunity.
Aiden O'Neal buries it. Then the Spiders up 3.
Big play. Big time play by a big player. Take their best pole behind and turn the corner for a big goal.
Now 11-8 Richmond. O'Neal with a pick from little brother. And snuck it low on Noost. It's 2 goals today, 11 for the year for O'Neal.
Coming around on with his offhand. That's a big time play.
And Richmond up by 3. Cascadon and Chenoy and a whistle, and it's a violation against Richmond. But Chenoy will not take the next face-off. That's the new rule this year. And Cornell goes to work on offense.
I had to call my former assistant this morning on my way driving over here, Mark Van Arsdale, to ask him about the face-off rules. They've changed it so much over the years that I wasn't certain what happened when you violated, but you're right, Chenoy can't take the next face-off.
Here's Kirst. Smith put in a shift against him today. Ryan Waldman. Sheehan. Now Firth. These are the ones for Cornell. Firth on the doorstep. Goldstein. And Vignew got a piece of that. The run-out scramble won by the Big Reds, Ryan Waldman.
We talked about Cornell having 2 midfields that they use, maybe not equally, but that they use often, and you know they've gone to getting that first midfield out there as often as they can.
Braden Pennyfeather Stevenson with another caused turnover, and the Spiders still perfect in the clearing game. Now an unsettled opportunity is gobbled up by Noost as Chris Mazzaferri turned it on Cage. And Cornell a chance to regroup here. Spiders with 11 caused turnovers today against an elite team. Willem Firth negotiating traffic with 9:12 to go. Big Red down 3. C.J. Kirst. Hunter Smith wandering halfway to Ithaca to keep an eye on him. Trying to work off a Dalton pick for Long in front. And Cornell shaves the Spider lead.
And that's what a curse does for you. You know, he, even though he was out of shooting range at that point, he softens up the defense because everybody's thinking that I might have to get in a position to help create space for his teammates, and then Long fills that gap.
6th goal of the year for Michael Long, who was one of 7 members of the Big Red to earn some form of preseason All-American honors. Another assist for Kirst, who continues to pile up points, the nation's leader.
I feel like I've been hearing Michael Long's name for a long time, you know, and with all these COVID years and extra years that players get, it could be that some of these guys have been around for a while.
Ground ball pickup for Anthony DeCenzo on that faceoff. And the Spiders now up by 2 with possession. Aiden O'Neal dashing down to X as the Spiders get their personnel settled. Berkeley are going for a jog.
I'd like to see them get that ball behind, maybe with one of the attackmen, and get a short stick back there with them.
Pickard backed up by O'Neal. O'Neal with the restart. Defended by Jason Singer. Now Sheridan, played by Charlie Box, who knocked the ball loose. O'Neal there to scoop it up, and going to be a crease violation, Spiders.
Sheridan wind up in the crease.
That's how you get the hard hat. Charlie Box is the Cornell hard hat. Every end of every fall ball, they pick the guy who's like the best sort of lunch pail, blue collar guy. Now this team, that's Charlie Box. Matt Dooley for Michael Bawsey, and Cornell gets it done on the clear, down by 2, 7.5 to go. Goldstein. Michael Long. Kirst for Goldstein. Big U right there. Firth comes up with a ground ball. Shot clock reset for the Big Red. Kirst again. This time loses his defender and makes it a one-goal game. So Kirst a hat trick on a quiet day. And he cuts the Richmond lead to a single goal. 6:57 to go, and Big Red traveling well.
Yeah, Stull in some unfamiliar territory behind the goal, loses his footing, and Kirst takes advantage.
11-10 Spiders. More lacrosse next on ESPN+.
Real recognize real. Real taste, unmistakably Sprite. Real refreshment, crisp lemon lime. Sprite, obey your thirst.
The key to a perfect family vacation? Separate rooms.
Put the load right on me.
Life's a trip. Make the most of it at Best Western.
Consumer Reports clasifica las marcas de autos basándose en más de 50 pruebas de manejo. Encuestas de confiabilidad. Encuestas de satisfacción de propietarios y calificaciones de seguridad del IIHS. Y para el año 2025, la marca automotriz más confiable, según Consumer Reports, es Subaru. No es casualidad que también hayan nombrado a Subaru la mejor marca automotriz en general.
Obtén un financiamiento con un APR del 2.9% durante 72 meses en un nuevo Subaru Outback.
Now Cornell Big Red, number 3 team in the country, had a miserable first quarter. They've been trying to dig themselves out of that hole ever since. They are back to within a goal. As Jack Cascada, who's had a big day at the faceoff dot, takes the draw against Chinoy and wins it out the front door.
I thought what you saw in the last 5 or 6 minutes of the game was C.J. Kirst hunting the ball a little bit more than he had been in the first 3.5 quarters. That could be more of a factor certainly here in the stretch run here in the fourth quarter.
Here's Michael Long.
Him just finding the ball in different situations and trying to make something. Just his presence on the field kind of creates space for his teammates.
And here's Kirst against Smith. That's been an epic matchup today. Goldstein. Now Long. Kelleher. Dalton has 1 goal today. Now Kirst. Firth. Long trying to use a Firth pick. Dalton, the BTB, and the shot from Firth off the pipe. Kelleher, the rebound, ties the game.
Great grab on the rebound.
That's 2 today for Hugh Kelleher, 4 for the year. And again, the Big Red fighting all the way back. They've tied the game at 11. And Kelleher, right place, right time.
And now the face-off piece, it's pivotal. 5 minutes to play. You know, you want to win the face-offs, obviously, but it's really what happens in the last few minutes of a game, or when a game is being decided, whether or not you can get the ball back.
And Noose coming up with the team ground ball off that face-off.
Ahead or behind.
And again, Cornell an opportunity here for their first lead of the game, as Brendan Staub venturing into the offensive end. And Cornell Connor Busick says, nah, that's not what we grew up.
I was going to say, Goldstein just ran out of bounds.
So the Big Red calls a timeout here to draw one up. They've had a couple of chances to grab leads today. Spiders scored the game's first goal in the opening minute. Lucas Olson. Kirsch tied it about 90 seconds later. And then the Spiders scored 5 in a row and led 6-1. Big Red hacking back in it.
You felt like this was the game we were going to have, you know, about midway through the second quarter. Once Cornell got the jet lag out of their system and started to play, you knew they were going to come back and make a run in this game. And like I say, you've seen a lot of high-level plays on both sides, and now you're down to the last 5 minutes, and we got a tie game.
We had a 3-goal run that made it a tie game after the Spiders went up 11-8. Long Kirst, and here comes the rebound goal by Hugh Kelleher. One of the 7 preseason All-Americans of one sort or another on this Cornell squad picked to win the Ivy League. They've won 3 consecutive regular season Ivy League titles. The tournament has been less kind to the Big Red, and they wound up 9-5 and out of the NCAAs last year.
Cornell lacrosse has been good for a long time. You know, I was in the Ivy League for 22 years as a player and a coach, and there was a lot of Big Red over the years. You know, and those late 1970s Cornell teams, especially 76, 77, 78, those are still some of my favorites of all time. I just love the way they played and the way they carried themselves. You know, so this is a team and a program with character, and like I say, they weren't gonna go run and hide away from anybody, and Richmond has responded in kind, and like I say, you got 2 teams that have played very well here, and now this game is going to be decided in these final 5 minutes.
Another opportunity for Cornell to grab their first lead of the day. Firth played it down to Goldstein. Now here's Kirst. His sharp angle bouncer is wide, but the Big Red with a group back up there. They had 3 possessions in the third quarter on which they could have grabbed their first lead and were turned away each time. First opportunity to lead in the fourth quarter. Goldstein. Top side, but he missed it.
Yeah.
Kirst had the backup. 4:40 left, deadlocked at 11. First regular season matchup ever for the Spiders against an Ivy League opponent. Kirst's pass handcuffing Dalton, who recovered it, but now is getting worked over by Tommy Stull. Kelleher against Packard. Dalton, tricky handle. Now Firth. And a sharp angle handled by Vigu. Firth with a run out, but shot clock expired.
Good scrap for Richmond there. Good, Richmond, go get the ball.
And now the Spiders 20 for 20 on clears today. They'll get challenged here.
They need to be 21 for 21.
Tied at 11, clock rolled down to 4 minutes. I think Cornell's want a couple of seconds back on the clock.
Don't be surprised to see Richmond call a timeout once they get this ball cleared.
Smith able to find Dunham. And he gets the ball to Lucas Olson, and the Spiders remain perfect on the clear today. Just the second all-time Spider game against an Ivy League opponent. The only other time they saw an Ivy was a heartbreaking loss to Penn a couple of years ago in the NC2A tournament. Sheridan. Through traffic, and it's knocked down. And
not the opportunity we were looking for there.
Yeah, Luke Gilmartin comes up with a ground ball.
Those crossfield passes, those flat crossfield passes are just dangerous. It's tough to connect. You got opposing players in the passing lanes.
Brendan Staub with a completed clear there for Cornell, and now again the Big Red can grab their first lead with under 3 minutes remaining.
I'm Coach Shamati. I'm thinking to myself, geez, I should have called a timeout there.
Here's Kirst. Spiders looking for their 11th all-time win over a ranked opponent. Already won this year. Kirst against Smith. Kirst the rollback. Big Red with the backup. Goldstein. 31 on the shot clock. Goldstein the restart, now Long. He got topside, and Cornell has their first lead of the day.
That's a big-time play by Michael Long right there. Coming to his offhand against the pole. I'm not sure I saw that one coming.
It's 2 today for Long, both here in the fourth quarter, 7 for the year. And with 2:21 to play, the Cornell Big Red grabbing their first lead of the game, 12-11.
The beauty of the shot clock is that you know there's no reason to panic here. You need to, obviously, to win a faceoff would be great, but you're still going to have time to get the ball back.
Cascadin takes it against Cosenzo and wins it. Now it's Long for the Big Red, and
I think Cornell has to play also. They may, again, I can see them holding for a good shot, squeezing the clock here a little bit, but I don't think you want to pass up a good shot.
Goldstein out to Kelleher, now Firth. Minute 55 to go, 56 on the shot clock. Big Red up a goal on the road. Kirst. By far the closest game Cornell's played this season. Dalton. Now Firth. Goldstein on the wing. Big Red getting organized. Here's Firth. Down to Kirst.
Fine Goldstein with that ball.
And there's Goldstein. 12 on the shot clock now. Goldstein. Dalton, and that's gobbled up by Vigu. Spiders a chance to clear quickly. Here's Pilling with 57 seconds left, and Richmond down a goal. A little bit of space for Packer, but not the right guy. Spiders call timeout.
Yeah. I think that was a mistake by Cornell, just to hold the ball and kind of just give it back at the end of the shot clock. Got 48 seconds to play, which is plenty of time.
Kind of a desperation last shot at the end of that possession. They clearly intended to run it pretty much all the way down. And Vigu grabbing that, although it was off cage, allowed the Spiders to try to do some things in transition. Now they have to settle in and find a goal.
Well, John, we've been treated here to a top-notch game here, coming down to the last possession.
Yeah, if you're the Spiders, I think looking at Cornell through their first 3 games, if you said, hey, we need a goal at the end to maybe force overtime, I'd say, yeah, we'll take that. We'll take our chances.
I would like to see a little bit of what we call big little, where using one of your short sticks, one of the guys covered by a short stick to set a pick for one of your better offensive players, whether it's Aiden O'Neill behind the goal or one of those guys. And again, if nothing else, sometimes they'll switch, and now you have a short stick on your best offensive player, but it also can soften up the defense when they see that big little and when they see that pick coming, create a little space for people.
Lucas Littlejohn's been kind of shut down a little bit today. 7 goals last 2 games, 1 in the second quarter today. Aiden O'Neill has shown a little bit of a hot hand. Berklinger.
You haven't seen teams, neither of these two teams, sliding to everywhere on the field. And so with Littlejohn, he's more of a finisher, and so he needs somebody else to create some space for him and for him to be open on the inside. He starts in the crease here.
O'Neill with the restart.
They go to the big little with the pick behind.
Pickard Now Olsen. Merklinger handled that pass, but shot off target, backed up by O'Neal with 29 seconds remaining of regulation.
Still work for something good.
O'Neal restarts in the corner. Sheridan the pick. Pickard, oh, he couldn't squeeze it, and it's picked up by Michael Bozzi. Spiders frantically trying to ride. Bozzi plays chuck and duck with 7 seconds remaining. Dunham comes up with a ground ball. Now Sheridan throws it in front. It's wide, and that will do it. Cornell comes to Richmond and escapes to stay unbeaten.
Good for us up here in the booth, John. Great game to watch. Great, well played by both teams. You know, unfortunately for Richmond, they come up on the short end of this one, but they certainly demonstrated that they belong in this company.
Yep, Spiders did a lot of great stuff, and at one point led 6-1. And good character test for Cornell on the road after blowing out their opening 3 opponents. You might start to believe the hype a little bit. They got punched in the mouth, they got right up, and wind up rallying back to defeat Richmond 12-11. Cornell now 4-0 on the season. Spiders 3-2 and continuing a trend since the start of last season. All of Richmond's losses have come to nationally ranked opponents.
Yeah, they, like I said early on, you give Richmond, you give Coach Yamati a world of credit for the schedule that they put together and their willingness to play teams of this caliber. You know, you would have looked at last year's schedule and thought, wow, that's a tough schedule. Well, they added Cornell to it, you know, who happens to be one of the very top teams in the country. And so they're not ducking anybody. And it's certainly, you know, what I've seen too is you see players like Hunter Smith and Aiden O'Neal beginning to emerge as a #1 guy. You know, they got a guy that covered Kirst effectively today. And, you know, Aiden O'Neal created opportunities when they needed it. You know, those are the kind of things, those are the characteristics of a quality team, having players of that caliber.
Cornell goes home to face Penn State next Saturday for the Spiders. A little time to mourn this one. Mercyhurst comes in Tuesday, and then another home game Saturday against Maryland, Baltimore County. We'll have all of that for you on ESPN+.
Look forward to seeing you back.
Don, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Thanks to Blake Ellett, our Spider TV crew, Kristen Gravius, the Sports Information Department here at UR for their assistance. John Emmett from Robin Stadium. Again, our final score, third-ranked Cornell survives. They beat Richmond 12-11. So long from Richmond.